We're going to show off Easy HDR Skylight, my collection of high dynamic range skies that you can use with Unity 5's new shading system. We've got William Barry's Tira model here, which is also available in the asset store. I'm going to use this from these demos. Everything you see here is just running real time in Unity on my laptop. So as you can see here, we're panning around inside this arcade, and we've got our character and these spheres dynamically lit by only these high dynamic range images. High dynamic range means we've got them all the way from the low light detail all the way through being able to see the bulbs on these lights or the actual sphere of the sun on the skies. I'm going to stop that for a moment, and we're going to switch over here to and just drag in from the Skybox material folder the next one, in this case backyard, and you see how very quickly everything gets dynamically relit and recalculated, and now you can see our character is now outside. Now generally you won't actually use the background of this. You won't see these skies unless you're looking up. You'd have the rest of your game environment here. But you can see how quickly we can dynamically relight and make your assets look beautiful with Unity 5's physically based shading system. We're going to switch over now here to our next one, which is the bar. The camera at the top is using Unity's standard HDR camera. The cameras on the bottom are using tone mapping, which is an image effect that comes free with Unity 5. Tone mapping allows you to see more dynamic range compressed into the visual space. Let's switch over again now to the booth. And you can see how Unity immediately updates the lighting to make them seat right in these environments. Standard skyboxes will not give you this quality of result. You do need to use dynamic range. So here we see on the bottom where tone mapping really comes into play. We've got the sky, a very bright exposure, lighting up our model and giving it very nice shading, but it really does blow out a bit on the top of the head. Well, when you use the tone mapping, that fixes that problem. For all of these, we do actually have the ability to go click on them in the material, Skybox material, and dynamically adjust the exposure. So we can actually bring that down all the way to almost nothing, which will affect how your character is lit. All of these do come in calibrated to a 1.0 standard that allows you to just very quickly drag and drop in all these different lighting environments and give your character a very different look very quickly. What's nice is these work not just on your character, but everything in your scene. So if you have a full environment and you want it to look like it's in a forest, you can actually just use this single HDR as the fill light and then add directional key where you need it. So if you notice, this has all the nice green and brown contamination from the HDR, and we can now go turn on a directional light and say, well, this is going to be our sun. I'm going to rotate it, and we're going to mix in, and we're going to say, let's make it kind of overcast, and we'll bring that at a nice reasonable value. So now we've got some raking sunlight on her, but we still have all that nice beautiful bounce light coming from our HDR. Well, so these are the first 10 that you get with this pack. I plan on adding more later, so get it at the opening price while you can. Have a wonderful day.